card reads by Annie. We're here at the Best Western in Dryden, and I would like to thank Mike Reedman for letting us invade his beautiful space here today. And not to mention the fact that Lynn is here with us from National, and her boss man over there, Ethan, said she's more than welcome to come up and ask us a question. This is why we love doing it on location, because you never know what's going to happen. So welcome, Lynn, thank you for doing this. You're a brave soul. A lot of people think I bite. I really don't. No. So I'm going to ask you to shuffle this, so you go ahead. Oh, a pro shuffler. Look at this.
There you go.
Perfect. Okay. So hold that with your right hand for a moment.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask you to cut into 3 piles with your left hand. A lot of people ask me why we use the left hand. I get accused checking for rings. That's not it. It's closest to your heart. Same reason we wear our rings on that hand. Okay. Kind of like the way that you went out of the spectrum a little bit, which means, how do I put this politely? You're not a follower, okay? You do have your own independent thought process, and it's always a nice thing to see. So go ahead with your question.
Just wondering if we're going to have any financial luck coming.
Okay, let's have a look. You can make some of your own financial luck. It's showing that right here. So we're going to see what that has to say here. We all have that. If you heard us talking on the last episode a little bit, I mentioned that my grandson is like a relaxation. My dog is stress relief. But often creativity can be stress relief as well. You know, you've seen all these adult coloring books and things like that. You actually have a stress relief that can make you money.
I do?
Yes, you do, okay? But what I hear all the time is, oh, I don't have an artistic bone in my body. Well, when was the last time you tried? Usually it's in high school or, you know, very early on in stage.
That's right.
And it's life experiences that actually make the artist in us, right? Otherwise, we'd still all be drawing a stick man.
Right.
So that being said, it is showing here that you actually, through your own creativities, you can actually be selling some stuff. So let's go on a little more, especially when you're worried or stressed. Okay. Have you got a coloring book?
I've got many coloring books.
So you know exactly what I mean by that.
Yes.
Then, right? Okay.
Yes.
So what can you do that's not inside a book that's your creativity? Because if you look, it doesn't just give you extra money, it also gives you inner strength. Okay. It is showing here that at the beginnings of starting your job, you felt a little rocky, and I know we're standing right in front of your boss, but that's okay. It is showing here we also have strength with work, okay? So I'm not too concerned about that, but when you have questions, don't be scared to ask them. All too often, we just, I wonder if, okay? Instead, if we're worried about something or concerned about something with our job, ask, okay? Because we're not just going to have the answer come to us in the mailbox, right? So, okay, and it looks here, the rut that we've been stuck in, you can suddenly come out of. This card here means sudden, quick, anything like that. So I actually want you to do a little bit of Googling. I love Google, it's my best friend. Do a little bit of Googling on some of the art stuff that you are interested in. Okay. Maybe you can self-teach that made a lot of sense. Teach yourself how to do this, okay? Or that thing that gives you those little goosebumps. Because the key here is what gets rid of your stress is also going to allow you to sell on the side, okay? And I have probably counseled that more already in 2017 than I did in all of 2018. Now you see why he's my stress relief. Yeah. Can we pan that for a sec? Because he has just made himself totally at home now. So yeah. So it does say here, you do have a partner, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, and it is showing here, if the two of you talk to some younger generations as well. They may have some good ideas too. And it actually seems like a kid, or what we would consider a kid, can actually spark something there. So money will get better, but it's not going to be tomorrow. Okay? And you kind of have to go after it if money's going to get better. And you can call me out on it if I'm wrong, but every once in a while you do a little binge spending. Okay? And that's going to have to stop. Does that make sense? Okay. So binge spending, unless we're adding it to our budget or stashing those toonies away, kind of has to stop a little bit. Okay. Sorry, I'm kind of accused. I know I'm accused all the time of saying more than perhaps people want to hear, but it is kind of a fact. Okay. And I know you're not. It's not. I'm not calling it stupid spending, because it's not. It's stuff that could be used. Okay. But maybe we just need to spread that out over a year instead of a lump sums. Okay, does that make sense? It does. So I think I really like your confidence. A lot of people won't just come and sit in my chair like this at a moment's notice. And you have a great boss for allowing it, so I'm very happy to see it. So I want to thank you so much.
Well, thank you very
Thank you, and I'll just ask you to stay put there for a sec. And when we return, we're going to have another guest with us, and she is going to talk to us about her trip to India. It is so exciting. I get goosebumps when I think of this next piece of our show coming up. So I'll see you in a moment with Shelley. Hi there. I'm here today at All That Is with Shelley Frost. I want to say her maiden name because she actually grew up with my little sister. So I'm pretty comfortable being here with Shelley today. And Shelley's actually here to give us a little bit of knowledge today. So I've got a little question for you.
Sure.
Why India?
Why India? Well, India for me started almost 9 years ago. I lost my mom.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And it affected me deeply. It still does, and it changed me in some ways that I didn't like.
Okay.
So I started meditating, doing some yoga, reading some books on spirituality, that sort of thing. And as the years went on, you can only read so many books.
Right.
I wasn't really getting what I needed. And
So you weren't getting that full, deep inside sense of peace. Is that
Right.
kind of what I'm after?
Exactly.
Okay.
And for some of it too, I was going through the motions but wasn't really understanding why.
Okay.
And so I had been told about yoga teacher training, and I had thought, oh, I don't want to be a yoga teacher.
Right.
But I started looking at yoga retreats.
Okay.
And from there, I came across yoga teacher training, which in fact said it's not just to teach, but it's also to deepen your own practice.
Right.
So then I started on the trek to look for a yoga teacher training course.
Excellent.
And I originally looked at going to India, and then the thought of going there by myself scared the heck out of me.
I guess, yeah.
So I had a daughter in Toronto, so I started looking at going to Toronto. And as I was going through this process, which was probably over a year, I started thinking, to go to Toronto just doesn't make sense. It's like going to Kentucky Fried Chicken for coffee.
That's right.
Yeah. You go where, I don't know how else to explain
No,
it.
I like that actually, and that's okay, eh, Tommy? Yeah, we like that.
You go where it was born.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what made more sense to me. So I went back on the trek of finding a school in India, and so from there I picked a school, and once I registered in the school, I just did the process of how to get there, the flights and so on and so forth.
So after booking your trip, what was the actual hardest part or the biggest step for you once you got onto that plane and you knew you were on your way? What was that one moment like for you? Do you know what I mean? This is it, I'm doing it.
A little surreal.
Yeah.
Because it was such a long process. It
Right.
was almost a 2-year process to get
Okay.
to stepping on that plane. I was scared to death. I cried all the way to Thunder Bay. Just leaving your family. I didn't know, as far as communication, what any of that would be like. So that was scary.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, through Facebook, of course, it's a wonderful thing. I don't like technology, we all know, but Facebook is a wonderful thing. And I did see some of your marches and some of your meditative spots and stuff. So out of all that, would you go back?
Absolutely, I
Okay.
intend to go back.
You intend to go back?
To go back.
And would you do
Absolutely.
like a different retreat this time just to get a different sense of how somebody else does it, or?
My intentions going back because I met people in the community
Right.
and friends
Yeah.
and the owners of the school. I think I would go back, maybe explore the country a little bit more.
Okay.
I was pretty
Culture and
like I was pretty much located just in the base of the Himalayas for most of it, and I prefer the off the beaten track stuff, and
Right.
that was something I really got to experience when I
right,
was
because
over
a
there.
lot of them you fly over there with 20 other people, you get on a bus with 20 other people, and for me, I know that wouldn't be quite right because I may want to veer right when everybody else wants to veer left.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
does that
and
make
that
sense?
that was my experience. You know, I had thought, oh, I'm going to go to the Taj Mahal on a day off, and I thought, you know, anybody can go to the Taj
Mahal.
You could get postcards. Anybody can go there. I got to climb mountains and go sit with gurus that,
Yeah.
unless you know somebody that knows somebody, you don't get that experience. So
You
those
get
are the
me excited just hearing it. I look at the
it was
goosebumps.
amazing. It was the best, and it made me realize I'm on the right path.
Okay, so now that you've come home, you're using some of these tools in your daily waking kind of thing?
Yes. And I'll be honest, it's hard when you come back for the first month. You know, I would wake up and, you know, I'd tell my husband, you know, no TV. You know, I was in silence for so long. We didn't have technology. We would just sit and we talk. And it's hard. And I have gone through times where I get frustrated with myself that I have allowed, and I want to say the Western ways to seep back in, and they do. We have no choice.
No,
this is where
it's
I
our
live.
society, right?
So it's a
Yeah.
it is a
It's our
constant
culture, yeah.
struggle, equal and balance type thing for me still.
So now you're planning another trip back,
Yes.
okay? And you're not teaching yoga.
No.
But you are using it still on a
Yes.
daily, almost daily
Yes.
basis.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, well-
and it's the best thing that's been ever. The best gift that I've ever given to myself.
That's
to be honest
excellent.
with you, it's changed who I am, and people that are close to me have noticed the change. They've come, or people that I don't even interact with on a daily, but say there's something different about you. You're calmer. You're, you know, just.
Well, you want the truth? It almost took 5 years off of you. Do you know what
That's
I mean?
worth
Like
right
it did
there.
from the time before you went. And I don't mean that you looked old before. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is there is a sense of peace about you these days. And because I do what I do for a living, I do sense a different aura about you as well. So it's really good. And when you decide to go back, would you come back and talk to us again?
Absolutely.
And would you recommend people start saving their toonies and loonies for
Absolutely.
this?
Absolutely. You'll appreciate what you have here as well if you experience going
Makes
to
sense.
a country like
Okay.
that.
Well, I'm so happy you
Yes,
joined
thank
us
you. I'm so glad to
today.
Thank you so much.
And just a little history. Shelley and I have been trying to get together and do this for several months. Today worked. So I can't thank you enough for being here. And now I want to trek back there. I actually lived in Pakistan a couple of
Yeah, I
years,
heard your dad say
but I was so little that, you know, I don't remember much of it, but it would be great to go back for
Amazing.
sure.
That would be.
But I thank you so much, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you. Well, that was great. Shelley Frost, I can't thank you enough for coming on our show and talking about your trip to India. You've sure given me a lot to think about. And you know, since listening to this, I truly think that this is something I want to do myself in the next 10 years or so. Or when I retire at 92, I'm not sure when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen at one of those points because that was just amazing. So Oliver, as you've noticed, he's kind of wandering today. He's not sure of our new location here at the Best Western in Dryden. So we're just going to kind of let him keep walking because maybe we're his stress relief for a change today. So next up on the show, we're going to give Connie a call, and hopefully there's no service issues out there because from what I understand, we are calling her out at the lake today.
Hello?
Hi, Connie. Can you hear me okay? It's Annie calling.
Hi, yes, I can.
Okay, and are you out at the lake?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm at home. Just leaving.
Just leaving, but you're not doing the driving, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
We
good,
haven't
good.
even left yet. Just
Okay.
getting my line ready.
Good, then we can keep talking. Okay, so I'm shuffling the cards, and I would like you to tell me when to stop, if you would.
Okay? Stop.
Okay. Next, we're going to cut the 47 deck together twice. I'll run my hands up and down the deck. You'll say stop, I'll say again, and you'll say stop again. So we're going to go ahead now.
Okay? Stop.
Okay? And again.
Stop.
And I love the fact that you use the word stop because often people will say okay, and I don't know if they mean okay, you can stop, or okay, I getcha, so I do appreciate that. It's a very nice cut as far as what we look for balance, okay? And that means balance. When I say that, it means from the past, present to the future. And it's a very, very nice cut. So if you would like to go ahead and ask me your question, we will go ahead and try to answer it.
Okay, I have a new full-time position,
Okay.
and I'm wondering if that's going to be successful for me and if I'm going to be able to make enough money to survive on my own.
Okay, so if we're looking at this, it is actually showing here, it's been kind of up and down, up and down, up and down financially. But the peace and harmony that we're looking for with our work, our full-time position, is definitely here. And after a bit of time, you'll almost feel like that this job is a little bit of a gift, okay? And especially more so into the summer months when things start getting a little more hectic and days go by a little quicker and we don't have time to really stop and stress and worry. So it does really look here like you're going to fit into this role very, very nicely. And it is showing here after a bit of a financial standstill. I'm going to show you this way, and I'll show it to you this way just in case. You'll see when you watch the show that the success card is actually there. It is showing financially you've probably compromised enough.
Okay.
That's actually a pretty good combination, okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. And it is showing here the frustration with doing this completely on our own is actually also showing the clarity card here. And a lot of those frustrations and worries are going to start being lifted, okay?
Perfect.
But I am going to say it is now time. It is showing the part-time work as well. If there's a way that you can take that money and stash that part-time work money away for your retirement, you may actually not have to work as long as you think.
Oh, okay.
Okay? I know that wasn't...
And you saw that there was part-time work there as well?
Yes.
Oh, because that's interesting. There is.
Yeah, so it's definitely there, and it is showing that if that's just kind of your gravy on your fries, so to speak, then if you can stash those checks away into a tax-free savings account or something, I really do think you can retire a couple of years earlier than you think.
Oh, okay.
And I know retirement wasn't part of your question, but it's coming up in the cards, so we may as well bring it up, right?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so it's not all going to happen all at once, but over the next 6 months, you're definitely going to feel, oh, I'm not as stressed about money today, okay? And you'll just kind of wake up one day and realize that, and you'll know exactly this moment that we're talking about now.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And you guys enjoy the day today. And I appreciate you taking time on a Saturday morning to do this.
Okay, and you have a great day.
Yes, you too. Thank you so much, Connie. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So our next question here is going to be, let's do this one because it's looking kind of interesting to me. We don't get a lot of males that actually write in. So we're going to go ahead and actually answer a gentleman viewer's question. And his question today is, what should be my biggest health concern, and will I need to go to a doctor for it? Thanks, Sam. Okay, so let's ask and find out, shall we? Oh, those cards just didn't want to go any further in there. Okay. So whenever it's an email, we do the cutting for them, and it's interesting because pretty close to the identical cards would come up even if Sam were in front of us today. Well, it's kind of interesting actually. Long-term hereditary stuff. And what's actually coming up here is diabetes. That's not something that we want to see as a hereditary issue. We definitely are going to, yes, want to get some testing for it down the road. So, I mean, maybe the best thing to do sometimes is to look up symptoms of a certain thing, but it's showing me consumption. And consumption usually, and yet there's no pulse, so it's not consumption as an addiction, it's consumption as in something we're eating is going to be a long-term problem. And part of that long-term problem is definitely hereditary, okay? So sadly, I tend to think that somebody's already passed away, not from that issue, but as a combination of not taking the diabetes seriously and age. Excuse me, I must need another coffee. But if we're looking here, this is a long time from now, but it wouldn't bother coming up in your cards this early in your stage of life if you couldn't prevent it today. So in other words, let's have a look at family history. Let's talk to parents and find out what could be hereditary there. But it certainly does seem like some type of, I'm going to say it again, diabetes, because it's not letting me go to anything else. So that being said, I probably would make a doctor's appointment sooner rather than later, because there also seems like there's been some existing problems there as well that doesn't have to be as big a problem as it shows, and that feels more like an ache and a pain. As far as regulating this stuff goes, hi Ethan, thanks again. So as far as this goes, I really would take this warning a little bit on the serious side, because it wouldn't bother coming up in your cards if you couldn't prevent it from happening. It's not telling you to go to a doctor now because you're having a sugar shock, but what it is saying, you could 15 years from now, you could 10 years from now. And I think this is something that we may want to look into coming up. So Sam, I hope that answered your question. And we're going to go ahead and let you know how we can be a part of the show. You can email me. I can call you by us setting up a preset time and phone number if I enter that phone number correctly, of course, which I did not do this time around. You can also be a part of the show and tell us about what you do. Are you a massage therapist that would perhaps like to talk to us about why it's important to get a massage? Are you perhaps a different kind of artist? Oh, and I did speak to an artist the other day who's actually agreed to come on the show. And we just haven't set up an actual time yet. But she's an artist of something that we wouldn't normally expect women to jump into. So anything like that, we're really focusing this winter on meditation techniques, on relaxation techniques, and diminishing some stress. So if you do something for a living that you think would be very fitting with our show, I would love to have you come on as a guest. We'd love to come into your shop or your space and take over for an hour or two. And I think how to get a hold of me would be the easiest. You can contact me through cardreadsbyannie@gmail.com, or you can text me a note at 204-724-8161. Even though it's a 204 number, it is still local here to Dryden. It's just had this number too long to change it, that's all. So, that being said, I can't thank you enough for joining us here at the beautiful Best Western in Dryden today. I want to thank again Mike Reedman and his staff for allowing us to come in and just kind of invade the whole lobby here. And until next time, I wish you much love and light. Have a safe week.